everyone. This is Tamara from shelfaddiction.com, and welcome to episode 45. We're here live today recapping and reviewing the 4th episode of The Walking Dead Season 7. If you're listening live, leave us a comment on Spreaker. We want to hear your thoughts on last night's episode. If you're enjoying today's episode, please like and share it. Show your support by rating the podcast and leaving a positive review. Thanks for spreading the PCS love. The podcast can be found on the Spreaker app, iTunes, Google Play Music, the Stitcher app, and more. Joining me is PCS co-host, fellow TV junkie, and indie author Lisa Orban. Also check out PCS recaps on Lisa's YouTube channel, The Talking Book. Want to comment on something you've heard during today's episode? You can find me on Twitter at Shelf Addiction. You can also find Lisa on Twitter at Lisa Orban Author. Hey Lisa, good evening.
Hello, Tamara. Have you recovered from last night yet?
Oh my gosh, that episode was crazy.
Oh, it was intense. My heart was beating and I was like, I hate Negan.
I know, he is the worst. I mean, seriously, like every time Rick was holding that bat, I'm like, do it! Just do it! His back is turned, just do it!
do it. You know? Oh yeah. And and I'm just sitting here and I'm going, I want the tiger to eat Negan. Come on, tiger. You know.
Well, and, we have a couple more episodes to the mid-season finale, so anything can happen. Maybe they're making us wait for it. Let's hope.
I think he's going to go the whole season.
You think so?
I think Negan is. I think he's going to be on there the whole season. It's going to be this big build-up, and then they're going to leave us hanging with like Negan, like maybe dead, maybe alive, maybe this, maybe that. Mm-hmm. You'll have to wait. You know, kind of like they did with the whole baseball bat thing.
Well, it's definitely got to be some kind of showdown coming, for sure. Even if we're, like, paused in the middle of it, we're going to get something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And the previews I've seen, we're going to see Maggie next week, so that's good. But things aren't going to go so well for Hilltop, unfortunately. But I am curious how she's doing.
Yeah, me too. You know, speaking of Maggie, I really liked how they did the fake out with Negan and Maggie, you know, talking about Maggie.
Yes, that was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, brushing the fur off his legs. Right?
Yeah. And Negan is so gross. Like, he is disgusting. He, like, killed her husband, and he's like, oh, you know, they all need something to be filled. I'm like, nasty, get out.
I know.
Someone kill him.
And I know he doesn't know she's pregnant, because he made the comment, you know, about, you know, getting her knocked up so that, you know, she'd have something to replace her loss.
Exactly.
And, you know, I am so glad that Father Gabriel is now actually a character I can respect.
I know. I can't believe that was his idea to do the empty grave.
Yeah. Because, you know, he started off as a terrible person. I mean, he was a man of God, but he wasn't a good one.
No, he was a coward. I mean, if you remember, like, his storyline, I mean, he did not let people into the church.
I know.
So I'm like, oh my God.
And he had just basically blocked himself in that church and refused to come out and refused to do anything, refused to engage. And I think he had really he was such a coward. He had resigned himself to die in that church rather than go out and face the reality.
Oh yeah, definitely. So he's definitely turned into a different character, or his character has grown a lot. I guess I can put it that way. He definitely has. I'm curious to see what we see from him later as, you know, things get going really good.
Mm-hmm. I think he's gonna step up and play a bigger role. And for one, I don't know if you noticed or not, but Negan seemed really freaked out over the fact that they had a Padre.
Mm-hmm.
And in his New World Order, those should not exist. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he made Negan very uncomfortable.
Oh my gosh, he's jumped. He's like, where'd you come from? Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And every interaction after that, he just kind of slid away. I mean, it's almost as if Father Gabriel was reminding him of his humanity that he had lost or something, and he didn't like it. You know, and I mean, not heavily like, ooh, I need to change my ways, but enough to go, this is making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it definitely was doing that. Yeah, but I think he'll need a little bit more than a divine intervention because he's just nuts.
Bolt of lightning would be acceptable.
Yeah, exactly. He needs to like lose his memory and forget what he was doing before.
Yeah, something. Yeah. Because I mean, Negan isn't going to change.
No.
There is no redemption for this character. This is not a redemption story.
Mm-hmm.
He's too far gone. Because from everything I know about Negan, he was not a good person to begin with.
Right.
And the zombie apocalypse gave him an excuse to be the dick he'd always wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's only gotten worse, I'm sure, too. As he's grown in his power.
Oh, he is real bad. I mean, even not just him, but his followers. Like the way they were dealing with the people of Alexandria. Like that one scene where this guy was like making this young girl say please for these stupid balloons. I'm like, ugh, nasty. Everything was corrupt. Everything was just, gross. Like, really?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're all like that.
Yeah, I mean, the whole episode, and and there's a small part of me that just really wanted to turn the TV off because it was making my skin crawl.
Mm-hmm.
I felt dirty, and God love the writers at The Walking Dead. They've got it. I mean, it's there and it's riveting, but I kind of felt like I needed a shower after that episode.
Oh, it was horrible. I mean, the whole thing, I just kept cringing. Like, oh, man.
Yeah. And
like from the very beginning where Negan's at the gate saying his little phrase, and I'm like, he's all sing-songy. I'm like, oh, my goodness. Like, really? Ugh.
Mm-hmm. And as soon as he knocked, I said, let me in. He said the big bad wolf. And what did he say? Let me in. Was it let me in, little piggies?
Yes. I'm like, oh my gosh. I mean, I'm like, and what does that mean? You take pigs to a slaughter, right? Like, what's going to happen? I kept waiting for someone to die, but no one died. They escaped.
Well, and I think he was just waiting for it. He really wanted to. But now, weirdly enough, Negan does follow a certain set of rules. And it is, you don't kill unless it's for an objective lesson.
Right.
And from that point of view, he is restrained. He's not a complete wild cannon. But,
well, I don't know. I mean, for him to hand Rick his bat, I mean, he was very sure he wasn't going to hit him that whole time. He's like sick in the head. Like, you're going to make him hold the weapon that you murdered his friends with? Like, really? And just expect him to just lay down, and Rick does. I mean, it was sad watching Rick go through this whole episode.
And you can, and I think at this point Rick has cracked. And I mean, well, maybe not even cracked, but there is a certain acceptance in him that there was not before.
Yeah.
There's no hope left in him.
Right.
There's pragmatism, but there is no longer any hope.
Well, his little speech about Judith and his friend and Shane, I mean, and that was something that I didn't think we would actually ever hear him admit to that or say that.
Yeah.
Even though we all kind of felt that Judith was Shane's baby.
Yeah. We all more or less knew it, Yeah. But, I mean, and Rick is a good guy, and he tries, and he lies to himself even to get through the day. And, he was... And I think this world in some ways is harder for him to deal with because his instincts, all through up until the zombie apocalypse had happened was to serve and to protect and to foster and he can't be that anymore. He's still a lawman and he wants law and he wants order.
Right.
But he can no longer serve and protect.
No.
And so I think that loss of hope, and he's collapsing down. And he's like, all right, I'm now going to try and conserve because I can't do anything else anymore. I'm going to try and conserve what I have.
Yeah. And
it's killing him. And I don't know. Although when there's that scene there when he was like, Negan's like, I'm going to let you keep all the food, because if you're dead, you can't serve me.
Right.
And when he says, what do you have to say to that, Rick? And personally, what I would have said was, well, as you said, it's not really a favor, since if we're dead, we can't serve you.
Exactly.
So, that would have been me.
Yeah.
My smart mouth will hit me at the end. That'll probably be the death of me.
Well, you know what, though? Like, even though Rick has caved, we know he'll come back. But also, there's a spark with everyone else. Mm-hmm. They're angry still. You can tell they're willing.
Oh, yeah.
They are going to get him one way or another. It may not be today or tomorrow, but they're not giving up.
I think it's going to be Carl that's going to lead them.
Man, little Carl. He was losing it. He's like, you better leave before you realize how bad we really are. And he's like, are you threatening me? I'm like, oh, no.
It wouldn't have surprised me if Carl would have shot him. They had guns.
He should have.
Most of them were carrying guns. It would have been a bloodbath, I mean, technically. But at the same time, if Negan dead, disorder would have descended.
Exactly.
And I do think, to a certain extent, Negan respects Carl in spite of himself.
Yeah.
There is something, I mean, Carl is a product of his environment. He is cold, he's calculated, he's not warm and fuzzy, and he's willing to do what needs to be done, but he's not cruel about it. And
I don't know if Carl's going to be that... what do you call it? The hammer. I don't think it's going to be Carl. I just don't. I don't think he's quite there. It's like it burns in him. But I feel like it's going to be old girl. What's her name? Who asked for the bullet at the end?
Michonne. Michonne.
No, Michonne is the one who...
not Michonne. Sorry.
Yeah. I can see Michonne and her hooking up and trying to figure this out together as a team because, Rick's losing it. But, the girl, the redhead's ex-girlfriend. Yeah.
I know.
I don't know.
Rosita.
Yeah, Rosita.
Rosita?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually, to be truthful, I expected to see them go back to the bullet making place that he had found, that Eugene had found.
Yep.
And I thought Eugene was going to start producing, like, all right, we got to do something here, and they don't know about this place. They could have stored their guns there.
They sure could have. They could have moved everything, but,
I would have left some guns. I would have left a few guns, but every gun that they had picked up from a stranger, every gun that they had picked up from the Wolfgang, every gun that they had picked up from Negan's group, I would have moved all of those to the smithery. And, and just, nope. This is all we have. And I don't, and it's, I would have thought about that. I don't think Rick is any more forward thinking. And everyone's waiting for Rick to make the plan, and they're all kind of hanging back, and they're all kind of thinking, and they're not really thinking for themselves at this point. They're waiting for Rick to rally. And I don't think
after this episode, they're not going to wait for him anymore.
No, but I think up to this point they had been.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I think if he had been thinking clearly, that's what he would have done. This was a place that none of these guys knew about, and it's fairly well hidden, and it's defensible, and they could have shoved Eugene in there with what he needed and basically just made drops to him on occasion until he got the thing going.
Yeah. I mean, he even gave up Michonne's weapon that they didn't know about. I'm like, dude, what is wrong with you? Like, they didn't know about it. Why wouldn't you keep one?
I think he was trying to show an act of faith. And I think he was also, because after that he asked again for Daryl to come back. And I think he was hoping that if he had been contrite enough, if he had been meek enough and had gone over and above, so to speak, that maybe they could have gotten Daryl back. But
the sad part is, the sad part about all that was it was wasted. It was wasted because Rick didn't know what Negan was wanting Daryl to do. He didn't know that all he wanted him to do is say, I'm Negan, and he wouldn't do it no matter what. He passed up the bike. He wouldn't go back to his group. He said, I don't care. I'm just going to deal with this. And so he wasted
playing
that
the long
opportunity.
game. Yeah. And I think Daryl is looking at it from the point of view of he knows there's nothing he can do right now back at Alexandria. There's nothing that he can do there. But I think he also knows there's something he can do in Negan's group. And I don't know exactly what it is, but, there is, the cracks are already there.
Yep.
And I think after years of living with Earl and living the life that he did and the people that he dealt with, I think he knows how to exploit those cracks. Because he's a survivor. He's a survivor. And he has my, he has my support. Go Team Daryl.
Well, he was all looking all sad with sad puppy dog eyes sometimes. I'm like, when he showed up there with them, I'm like, oh, man, that's going to hurt. Like,
I am really hoping, though, that someone past somehow managed to say to him, nope, that's not Maggie's grave. I hope he noticed the dirt on Father Gabriel's, pants. I hope he noticed the way they were acting was off.
I hope he didn't. Because, that's going to put fuel in the fire. I hope he didn't.
I don't know, because I think if he thought that both Glenn and Maggie were lost, I think that might be the final blow. But if he knows Maggie is alive and the baby is alive, that he has a reason.
I don't know. You give Daryl a lot of credit. I mean, at his base, I try to think about what kind of guy he is at his root. He's not really even through, being close to Carol and being close to the old girl who died, the young girl. He never really shows emotion like that. Not really. It takes a lot.
Think of how he acted with the baby, Edith.
Yeah. But he didn't even get much FaceTime with the baby, though.
No, but what he did, he was there, man. He was on it. And I think as long as he knows that Maggie is alive, then he has a chance of redemption for causing Glenn's death.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I hope so, because I want him out of there, but I want him to be smart about it and not just be stubborn,
Mm-hmm.
I hope he's being smart. And, I gotta say, this one OMG moment, this is kind of off topic, but I'm watching this thing, on my lunch hour, as I mentioned, and this one part comes where Negan says, before they leave, he says to Rick, I just put my business down your throat, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh my God, he just served him. And he could do nothing. Say nothing, but look like an idiot. He stood.
Now, interesting moment, though, after Negan's group left, and the idiot, and I can never remember this guy's name, he was with the original Alexandria group, with the guns, and he's like, hey, Rick, blah, 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 and Rick, he's like, oh, no, and he just stops. He didn't even turn around and look at him, and he's like, you're going to take that back.
Yep.
You're going to take it back. Do I have a yes?
Yep.
I want to hear yes. And, he kind of reclaimed it there for just that second. So, I
think he was so angry. He probably would have punched somebody in the face if he had, if it weren't, because he was so angry with what just happened, and rightfully so.
And like I said, I think he's broken, but I think he's mendable. And, so he needs, his confidence has been broken. And I think it's not even, I think what the problem is it's his confidence in himself, that, he knows he's made bad mistakes. He knows he made the wrong choices. And he knows that it was him that convinced them to go after Negan's group. We can do this. We're strong. We're able. We can do this now. And he knows he made the wrong choice.
Yeah.
So he's now having to deal with not only the loss of Maggie, and all that came with, with Glenn and everything, but the fact that he has lost faith in his ability to make the right choice.
Right.
And so it's really hard on him. So now he's afraid to make any choice, and you can see that he just can't. He can't go forward.
Yeah, absolutely. Ooh, man, there was a lot going on in this. Was it a 90-minute episode on when it was live?
It was 90 minutes.
Oof.
And it was so intense. And like I said, I felt the need for a shower afterwards. But God, I couldn't stop. I mean, I was glued to my TV set. Oh God! So screaming, "Get the tiger! Get the tiger! Get the tiger!"
They crammed a lot into this episode, in a good way, because only, at first, when the season started, it was that shock value of what Negan was doing and killing people, and now it's really getting into the psychological part of it.
Yeah.
And it's really starting to dig into, all the characters and how they're dealing with this. So, that's a good thing. It's not very surface, even though it is pretty brutal and pretty, crass at times.
Well, and then the burning of the mattresses.
Yeah.
That final, FU that, Negan had to the group. We took all of your beds. We didn't want them. We didn't need them.
Yep.
We burned them.
Right.
It was just so that you can be uncomfortable.
Yep.
To prove to you that we don't need it. We're strong enough that, we've got everything we need.
Yeah. And I think that's another reason why he took all the weapons. He took more than what he was supposed to, because he wanted to show, I'm here to protect you. You can't protect yourself. Like, he kept making a show of that. Like, that's what I'm here for. It sounds like a good trade, right?
Right. Well, and then, taking all the medicine, basically so they have to go to him and beg him for medicine, for protection. He wants them dependent on him.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't want this to be a fair trade.
Mm-mm.
Half is what I say it is, even if it's all.
Right. He is the worst. I'm like,
I know.
And that guy does such a great job as Negan. If I saw him on the street, I bet people approach him on the street and talk smack to him.
They do. They are actually mad at him. He's talked about it. Yeah, there's been people that have just, they can't distinguish between him and his character, and it's been bad. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel bad for the guy that plays Negan.
Mm-hmm.
But God, I love hating Negan.
Oh, yeah.
He is
he is like the biggest, baddest of bad characters we've seen yet, to me, on this show. I think he tops all others.
Yeah, it's kind of too bad that the governor and him didn't actually run into this prior to.
Can you imagine the governor? Man, the governor would run crying into the corner after approaching Negan.
He might, but he would first give a good show because, he didn't want to back down. I mean, he did have a fairly decent, little army going on there. So
yeah, I think of, if you were to watch the Real Housewives franchises, I think of, the governor and his team were like the OC women. Yeah, they're catty. Yeah, they argue. But then Negan is like the New Jersey crowd. Go there and they will punch you in the face. So if the OC group and the New Jersey group got in a room, who would be scared? We know who, right? That's what I think about.
And it was interesting to see that when they pulled out that video of Rick when he first came into that group, and he's like, yeah, this is a man that I would have been scared of. This is a man that I would not have approached. But this guy, no. Yeah. So that had to have hurt Rick, too. So,
well, I mean, he let go of the anger and the violence and he changed again.
Yeah. So again, he's probably been the most malleable character in the entire show.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and he just keeps the hits keep coming. I mean, and then he has to relive the whole Shane thing, and then all the guilt over his, dead people, and then Michonne, and I still feel bad for her because I know she's like, who is this guy? I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. and he's just, and I think he personally feels the death of every person that's died under him since this whole thing started. And sadly, I mean, it's been hundreds at this point. If you think about everyone that they lost, especially at the prison, they have lost way more than they have gained.
Yeah, for
and,
sure.
Herschel's farm was lost. I mean, every place they've gone, everything Rick has touched essentially has been destroyed. And I think it's weighing on him.
Well, I am curious to see how going forward, when they discover the kingdom, how this will play into it. Because, again, he doesn't know about the kingdom yet. Right. He's only thinking that between him, them and Hilltop, they can't beat him. But what will happen when the kingdom is discovered?
Exactly.
So
it should be interesting,
yeah,
to say the least. But, hey, before we wrap it up, we have a shout-out to make tonight.
Oh, yes. You want to take care of that for me? Because,
Okay. So, all right, Dave. Thank you
yes.
so much for signing on and listening to us. And we understand that you are not a Walking Dead fan, but apparently you are fans of ours. And we just want to say thank you.
Yes, thanks, Dave, for that awesome comment. That was really nice of you. And we totally agree with you. Thank you.
We are awesome. You know?
Awesome.
So I hope you're listening tonight, because this is your shout out.
Yes, absolutely. So you guys, comment. Leave us a comment, and we'll shout out to you as well. Yes, we will.
Woohoo! We like you all.
Yes, we do. All right. Does that conclude our episode 4 conversation?
I think so. I mean, we kind of went over everything. I mean, obviously, we could go on for hours dissecting every minute of this episode, but I think we hit the major points.
Yeah, we hit the main ones, the shocking ones, all of the Negan badness. I think we covered.
A little projection forward, a little nostalgia. But I think we got it all.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Okay, so that's it, guys. We're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Before you go, please hit that follow button on Spreaker, the only place where you can listen live, or subscribe and listen later on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, and the Spreaker app. Thanks for listening. Until next time, happy viewing. Bye, guys.